Okay, so I just went and got our meat from yesterday that we started marinating. Here it is, out of the refrigerator. Now, over here on the stove, let me put you over here so you can see. There we go. We got a pot. It's heating up. We're going to take this meat and we're going to put this into the hot pot. We're going to cook this anywhere, depending on how tender your meat is. We're going to cook this anywhere from 30 minutes to, 4 hours. I didn't buy, well, I did get some ribeye, but not all the meat in here is super great. It's a little cheaper, so it's probably not as tender and such. Just going to add a little drop of water to the bottom of that pan. Just to cover the bottom of it. Now, as it cooks, it's going to make its own juices from the onions that we used and also from the fat, rendering the fat from the meat itself. But we're going to keep this on high, and we're going to have to watch it to make sure it doesn't burn. And you want to make sure you get all that marinade and the meat all in there. Ooh, it smells good. Okay. So again, this is an Egyptian style shawarma. We're using beef. You can use any cut of meat you like. Of course, the better quality meat you use, the more tender it will be. So that's why I do have some ribeye in there. And then I have some chuck in there that's not as, great a quality as the ribeye. But you could use both or one or the other. Instead of, I'm not sure. I could have. So we did go to the doctor. We did go to the post office. We went and ran a lot of errands, and Michael was sleeping. So now that we got that started, I'm going to cook it up on high for now, and we're going to add a couple things. Let's see. Do that as it's cooking. Okay, so we got one whole tomato. You can use a plum tomato, any kind of tomato you want. And then we got 2 jalapeno peppers. I'm going to make sure these are washed and don't have stickers on them. And we're going to just throw that in there with the meat, similar to how you would make tamales. I'm going to poke a hole in here. Throw it down there in the meat and let that cook down until it just basically cooks away to nothing. The tomato and the peppers. So, there you go. Who said that? Glad you and Michael are doing good now. Well, okay. So, we're doing better. I wouldn't say good. Michael has very bad days. Yesterday was a terrible day. It's one of the reasons why I didn't go back and do another live. He just doesn't ever feel good, and I guess that puts you in a bad mood, and we're supposed to be understanding and empathetic, and I try to be, but also, we can only take so much. It's definitely hard on everybody, not just him. And then, of course, he gets me in a bad mood, and then when I'm in the bad mood, the kids are, it rubs off on them. It's just really, really hard. But that's why he wanted to go take a nap. It does aggravate me when he sleeps all day, but sometimes I'm like, please, go to sleep. Alright, so basically we're just going to leave this uncovered and let this cook down for anywhere from 30 minutes. You just really, it just depends on how tender your meat gets. When your meat is nice and tender, you're done. And you want your peppers and your tomato to kind of cook down into nothing to where you could just mix it in. Okay? You could also throw this into a crock pot and just let it go all day. So you wouldn't have to sit here and watch it. But it's very cold today. Actually, the temperature's not that bad. It just feels very, very cold today. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of overcast and it's just, blah. So, I wanted to cook this on the stove. Just to kind of add a little heat, you know. Okay. So, I know that doesn't look like a whole lot of much right now. But let's let this cook for a few hours and then I'll come back and we'll show you what it's looking like, and we'll show you what it's looking like, and we'll also show you the next step. So the next step, we're going to make a sauce, and the sauce is gonna go in. Once it's done, it's going to go in the meat, and also, hey Kayla, no, I'm sorry, Carla. So that is the next step. But I'm going to let this cook at least for an hour before we even start on that. So, yesterday we did the marinade. Today we're going to put it in this pot and let it kind of go on its own. And then we'll do the sauce and put it all together next. This is the second part to our Egyptian, oh God, what is it? Why can't I think of the name of it? Shawarma. That's the word I'm looking for. Egyptian shawarma. So it's beef. Also, it would be helpful if you had some beef tallow. And for you that don't know what that is, it's essentially just beef fat. It could help kind of make it more tender and more succulent. But I don't have any. And if you don't have any, that's okay either. Now, in the Middle East, they use lamb. They can use lamb tail fat, or they can use beef. But I don't know where you would even buy lamb tail fat here. So, beef tallow it is. But, again, we're not even using that because we don't have it. Now, the ribeye had nice fat marbling in through the meat. So, we're just going to go with that. So that's what we got. And we'll just keep cooking until it's tender. Once it's nice and tender, we'll cook this. We'll take the lid off and cook some of that juice out. We'll add the sauce. And am I eating the Mediterranean? No, I'm just on a Mediterranean kick because I made that hummus the other day. Walmart sells tallow if I ever need it. Girl, I went to Walmart. I couldn't find it nowhere. So it just probably depends on your Walmart. Anyways, but this is going to be so good. My nose came a few after you started. What have you done so far? Miss Jana, so far we just took the meat that we had started marinating yesterday and I let it marinate for a full 12 hours, right? Is that 12 hours? 3 to 3? No, it's 24. So, it's by the oil. I did look there, but I'll check again. Unless you count Crisco, they had Crisco. I don't think that counts as beef tallow. Now, I might have some lard from making tamales. We might could use that. I don't know why we couldn't. If I have any more. I have to find it. You could probably use that too. And if I find it, we are going to use it. Now, no, I'm not on a Mediterranean diet. It's just what we felt like eating. We do love Greek and Lebanese food. So, well, I do. And kids do. Kids do too. Michael likes it okay. He likes the gyro better than the chicken. That hummus, Miss Sharon, is so good. And let me tell you, we for the display here, don't forget the feta. I forgot to put the feta on top, okay? So you're going to need feta cheese to sprinkle on top. But for the display, when I did it for you guys, we used a lot of crackers and breads. And it was really good with that, but I'm going to tell you, broccoli, cut up bell peppers, cauliflower. I ate some of the hummus with that. Oh my gosh, it was so good. It was so good. I'm definitely going to be making that hummus again very soon. I think I ate that for days because I think I loved it the most out of everybody. Oh, thank you, Miss Debbie. So, we're going to let this go for about an hour, and then I'll check it and see where it's at. When it gets kind of close to being nice and done and tender, then we'll come back live. Like whenever it's tender and I'm ready to let all the juice cook out, we'll go back live and we'll make the sauce. So, the marinade was super simple. I had all the spices. I told you how much to use. Mostly it's just really minced up onion, almost like an onion paste. And then a few Arabic spices, which sounds kind of weird, but you have most of them in your cabinet. The only thing you may not have is these two. I might have ordered these on Amazon, but I bet you can get them in Walmart. This one is sumac, and this one is 7 spice. But it doesn't matter what brand. You can get whatever brand you can get your hands on. This is 2 very common Middle Eastern spices. So I might even have gotten these at the Greek store, the Middle Eastern store. It's called the Olive Tree here in Baton Rouge. It's on Coursey. So love that place. But I'm sorry this has to be done in steps, but you know, when you marinate it, if I would have got more expensive cuts of meat, we could have really cut that down to 30 minutes to an hour. And then Michael just wasn't in a great mood, and it was just better to do it today. So I'm showing you how to put it on the stove. You start it cooking, and then add your peppers. Now, if you don't like the jalapeno, you can use whatever kind of pepper you want. You can use a habanero. Do it to your degree that you like your spices. We're from South Louisiana, so we like spice. Did I put up my Christmas tree this year? No, but the kids did put one in their room, so that might be just all we get this year. I'm not sure. Because I put my desk in the living room, so I really just don't have room, and I'd have to take my desk out, and Michael can't help us move furniture right now. So, and the pig knocks everything over. I don't know. We just might not do it this year. But, you know, that's not what Christmas is about. It's going to be fine if we decide not to do that. I'm going to cut this down just a little bit. I've got it on that middle burner on my stove, and that's the one that gets the hottest. That tomato is already cooking down. The skin is already kind of cooked off of it. It has. So it's just going to cook down to nothing. It's just going to mix in with the meat. My doctor's appointment, it was fine. It just, you know, we did all the blood work. I got, they're going to check all our hormone levels, thyroid, blood sugar, all the stuff. White blood cell counts, make sure we're not fighting any kind of diseases, infections, stuff like that. And then I'm going to have an ultrasound on my thyroid. So, don't be alarmed. I do them pretty regularly because, you know, every couple years, because I just got a big one. Got a big thyroid, that's all. Okay, so I'm going to go see what they're hollering about. Do a tree on the wall with lights and garland. That's a good idea. I might. I know, Carla, I'm pretty tired too. So, we'll be back. We're going to let this cook for about an hour or so, and then we'll be back and see. Now, make sure you tell me where you're from. I want to know where you guys are watching in from. And tell me, if you can, in the comments, what time of day you prefer to see these lives. Yes, I felt rushed for Christmas too, Michelle. So, if you like them better at 6, 7, 8 o'clock, or if you like them, you know, this time of day, which it's 3 20 here. Or, and so like if you tell me, oh, I like the 4 o'clock lives, that's very helpful, but you need to tell me Eastern, Central, whatever. Not that I'm going to go live at that time of day. I'm just curious to see which ones y'all like. See, Miss Marty says, oh, no, I'm sorry, Miss Debbie says mornings. I like the mornings one too. But before Michael's accident and when I didn't work and the kids were in school, I would go drop them off at school, go to the grocery store, get whatever I needed, come home, cook dinner. By the time I was done, it was time to go back and get the kids. So I cooked early in the mornings. But supper was done when everybody got home from school and work. All right, 1 minute off of here. I'll see you guys right back here in just a little bit. Have a good one.